Alright, so today we're going to be taking a quick section of notes on solving systems by substitution. So please write this down in your notebook. That's what we're doing today. As far as solving systems by substitution, what we're still doing is we're still going to have two equations, and we're going to need to figure out what point of intersection will work in those two equations. So let's go ahead and look at the steps to doing that. So here are your first step. Your first step is going to be solve one of the equation for one of the variables. Okay, we want to solve one of the equations for one of the variables. So what I've done is I've kind of come up with this example from page 399, number 7. Let's make that a little bit neater. From page 399, number 7. It's not exactly that same problem, but it's very much like it, because you're going to have this problem for a homework assignment. Okay, so very much like that problem, this is the system we're going to work on. Okay, you can see how similar it is if you look on page 399. So let's go about how do we solve a system by substitution. Well, we're going to need our next step, and there's really nothing under here. So let's just go ahead and take this and write what our second step is. Okay, or sorry, actually we didn't even do our first step yet, so my mistake. We need to go ahead and do step 1 first. We need to solve one of these two equations, one of these, for either x or y, one of the variables. What variable do you think would be the easiest to solve for, and from which equation? Look at them all. You could solve here for the x here, you could solve for the y here, you could solve for the y here, you could solve for the x here. What do you think is the easiest? Think about it. Okay, so I'm hoping a few of you were thinking that this y is the easiest to solve for because there's no dividing at the end, right? It's just a regular y. So I want to take this first equation, I just want to rewrite it over. And I want to solve for y. It's 2x plus y equals 6. I'm just go ahead and working with the top equation, and I want to solve it for y. So we have been doing this. We've been circling this term, and then we've been canceling out using addition and subtraction. You guys are actually getting pretty good at that now. So we're going to have y equals negative 2x plus 6. So this is essentially the end of step 1. If you want to kind of write a little 1 here, that's done now. So once we do that, we rewrite. Okay, a little lag on my pen here, sorry about that. We rewrite the other equation. But substitute in the answer from step 1. Okay, what is the answer from step 1? We're going to substitute that in. This is the answer from step 1. Okay, you see we had a 1 there as well. So we're going to rewrite the other equation. Which is the other equation? Well, the other equation is 5x. You can see this is right up above. Plus 3y, sorry, that's a 3. 5x plus 3y equals 2. And we're going to rewrite that, but they said to substitute in the answer from step 2. Well, don't I notice that y is equal to this? So couldn't I put this stuff? This is the big point of this. This is the big point of this lesson. This stuff is y, correct? So why can't I take this stuff and put it there instead of y? That's what I'm saying. So let's rewrite. And since I've used red there, I'll rewrite all that stuff in red. So we'll put parentheses. And we're saying instead of y, we know that y equals all of this. So instead of y, why don't we write all of this? And then the reason that that's helpful, I know it doesn't seem like it's going to be, is because now you only have one variable. You do not have an x and a y. You just have x's. And it's better to just have x's, let me tell you. Because then you don't have to go ahead and graph like we have been doing in the last section. So once that's done, which we just did it, we need to solve. Okay, solve for variable in new equation. So the new equation is the bottom one, of course. So we want to solve for the variable in that equation. Well, let's just go ahead and solve. Let's go with blue here. Distribute. Carry down. 3 times negative 2x, well, that's going to be negative 6x. 3 times positive 6 here, that's going to be 18. Equals 2. Combine these like terms, we have now negative 1x plus 18 equals 2. You see how on this step I'm kind of going a little bit quicker? It's because, unfortunately, I just expect you to know how to do this. If you don't know how to do this, you may start falling behind soon. So now we have 1x equals negative 16 because we subtracted 18 from both sides. We're going to divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. We're going to get x equals 16, regular old 16. So that's good. Solve for the variable in the new equation when we just did that. So now we need to know the last step. So step 4, take answer from step 3. Take the answer from step 3, which is aka this, right? A little line. This is the answer from step 3. And substitute, that's substitute, okay, it in or into one of the original equations. Okay, let's discuss which. So these are the original equations. Which one do you like better? I'm thinking the top one, right? Looks a lot simpler. So we're just going to rewrite the original equation. Because we're just rewriting the original equation, let me just go ahead and just take the original equation and copy it. So that you know that that's all I'm doing, is I'm taking that equation and I'm dragging it down here. Okay, so here's our original equation. Okay, one of our original equations. That's the one we liked best. And now I'm going to start to go here. I'm going to make this all green so that we can have some better color distinction. Okay, because obviously we don't want them all in blue. So this x equal to 16, why don't we take, instead of x, and put 16 here? So we rewrite, okay, times, well, we know it's 16. We're getting kind of used to this whole, like, substituting in numbers for x and for y, hopefully. And now it's actually not bad. This is 32 plus y equals 6. So when we subtract the 32 to get the y alone, we end up with y equals, we'll do the math here, I think it's negative 26. So we have the x and the y. Now we just need to take those two things and write them as a point. So if we were going to write them as a point, we'd write x, comma, y. So this is the answer to that equation, or to the system of equations, sorry. So this is how you find the answer by substitution.